Several people have asked me about brushes in Photoshop, and I make these brushes and I use them all the time. And I'm going to show you how you can make them and set them. They're really very useful, and they're really not that hard to make. And let me show you how. So let's say we wanted to make a lipid bilayer, right? What you would do, well, let's make it a bilayer. So let's do this. Oh yeah, we're not going to be happy with that. So we're going to change it a little bit. We're going to change it a little bit so it doesn't look exactly the same. So I'm going to delete it out here, delete it out of there. Sure enough, that's good enough. Okay. So what you're going to do, well, it needs to be a little bit better than that because you want to do this. You want to have that. And it needs to be on a transparent layer. You can see this is a transparent layer up here. And what you're going to do is, I think you have to make a selection around it and say copy, and then go to edit, define brush preset, which is in here somewhere, which I don't see at the moment. Define brush preset. We'll call it lipid. All right, and then we can delete that. And so now we have this thing, right? But if we try to draw with it, what's it do? It does that. Two problems with that. One is it's overlapping, and the other is it's not following the course of our stroke. It's not vectoring along our stroke. And so what you do is you're going to bring up your brush settings, go to brush tip shape, and then take the spacing and look down here in the lower right. And so we want our spacing to be something about like that. We can adjust that in a second. Go to shape dynamics, and under angle jitter, turn it to direction. And so now, when we do it, it'll do that, right? That's pretty cool. And if we did it right, yeah, we can magic wand that. Yeah, well, you could magic wand it, but that's already a pretty useful thing. And then all you have to do is go B, and come in here and say new brush preset. And I think I leave it like that. And then this is the one we want, and this one we need to delete. Let's see if I delete that. Yeah. And so this is the one we want here, and so that one will work properly. But that's basically it. And I use it, the arrows are surprisingly useful. You know, if you have, especially if you're storyboarding, you know, you've got a bunch of these things and you want to put a bunch of, imagine how long it would take to get all those arrows into position. You know, for a storyboard, it would take forever. So let's see what else we have here. These are really useful. This one is surprisingly useful. And I use it quite a bit, and then I've used this. So, for instance, let's say we wanted to make a lipid membrane, we might do that. And then we might come in here and take this one, right? And make kind of like a lipid, and you could make it smaller, 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 smaller. And so now we've got a gradated thing going back there. It's not going to end up in a museum, but it's super useful. Receptors on the surface of cells, right? Super useful. Let's see what else we got in here. These lines are useful, and I'll show you another way these lines are useful. If you had a mark like this, and you wanted to show it dashed, you would, rather than paint it, you could paint it on a mask, but you could go to your eraser tool, and now you have a dashed line, right? And I use that all the time. It would probably work better on something that was thinner. right? That looks a lot more like a dashed line that we need. What else do I have? I've got these. I made these for something one time. I don't remember what for. But that's essentially it. And you'll notice a lot of times in my when I'm drawing fluid and things, I'll put these in there. So if I had a plume of fluid, lots of times I'll put things like this in there at really low opacity, and it just makes it look like it's full of bubbles and stuff. And again, a lot of storyboarding stuff. So that's it. And I thought you all would find that interesting. And you can, of course, save these and share these. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, thank you.